I wrote a poem for Dana White, please listen. Dana White likes a good fight. But his fighters cannot afford a ticket for a flight. Losing Francis Ngannou left you with a frown. You took Ronda Rousey to a town called Pound. Without his rich friends, he would be nothing. Maybe cleaning toilets or doing some plumbing. They call him Dana Pink. The TRT is staring to make his hammer shrink. You put your wife in her place. This slap league is an absolute disgrace. Dana White and Brendan Schaub are not friends. I hear they are not friends, because Ronda Rousey told Dana that Brendan Schaub swings the bigger hammer. For anyone who didn't know, the UFC Apex has a smaller than usual octagon when they hold events there. Dana recently said that the reason the octagon is so small is because Dana wants his ego to be the biggest thing in the room when he is watching the fights there. Dana's ego is so colossally big, he could charge rent for the space inside his head. Of course he would charge rent, the guy steals as much money. I get why Dana and Ariel Helwani don't get along, they are practically the same guy. The only difference is that Ariel has a nose that you could cut butter with. Dana and Ariel are the same guy, and I mean that in an Israel kind of way. I heard when Dana and Conor go partying, Conor has to provide Dana with the bumps, because Dana is too cheap to get his own snow. I see Dana's power slap has been tanking. Everyone hates it, and nobody knows who any of the athletes are. The most popular athlete in power slap is Dana White himself from that video with his wife. Dana White keeps getting upset at Chris Cyborg. He once said she looks like Vanderlei Silva in a dress. I think Dana is just jealous because Chris Cyborg is packing more meat than Dana himself. Dana keeps saying that Power Slap is trending off the charts, but the only thing that's gonna be trending off the charts soon is Dana's domestic violence charges. Dana reminds me of CNN because he cannot tell the truth. Dana White is truly an inspiration to us all. He is living proof that your dreams can come true if your best friends just happen to be millionaires already. Dana keeps saying that he pays the fighters what they are worth. That's a bigger lie than his Whitey Bulger story. Fun fact, a bulger is something Dana gets in his pants for every girl not named his wife. All jokes aside, I do appreciate Dana's wife. She looks like she's tough enough to take a shot to the face from Amanda Nunes. This, of course, is while Ronda Rousey takes a shot to the face from Dana White. Just kidding, that didn't happen. Dana White shoots blanks, not whites. Stephen Hawking's legs work better than Dana's hammer. Dana White is kinda similar to Howard Stern. Howard had the whack pack, and Dana does as well. Somehow, Dana's whack pack was more retarded. He has Tito Ortiz, who has a head the size of Jupiter, but a brain the size of a bean. Tito still drinks juice boxes and plays with Tonka trucks in the sandbox. Then you have Brendan Schaub. Somehow Brendan and Dana are tunnel brothers. Brendan Schaub named his podcast Below the Belt because that's where his brain is located. People give Dana a lot of grief about the Francis Ngannou situation. I saw what Francis was making, and there were a lot of zeros on his checks. I took a second glance, and that check was actually for a lady of the night named Francine. Dana White loves his music. He's a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The only thing that is chilly is prelim fighters' houses because Dana did not pay them enough money to turn on the heat for the month. Dana likes to go after Oscar de la Hoya all the time. It's quite hilarious the way Dana calls him Oscar de la Weirdo. Oscar is quite an odd dude. The cross-dressing thing is absolutely wild. Dana better be careful, or Oscar will beat the hell out of Dana wearing a thing and high heels. Dana went after PFL pretty hard when they signed Francis Ngannou. They better be careful, however. It's soon gonna be called the Profit Fight League the way they are stealing Dana's talent. Times are tough for Dana White. He went from having the McGregor and Rousey era to having his star being a guy who runs like Naruto. Who could forget about UFC 244, Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz? A great card, all the stars were out including The Rock and Donald Trump. It was a big event, the only thing bigger than the event was the egos of Donald Trump and Dana White combined. Dana White looks like a marshmallow. He has the musical talent of Marshmello too. What does Marshmello do? Push buttons. Dana doesn't like to push buttons either, because if he did, he would add extra zeros to fighters' paychecks. Dana White is living proof the American dream is possible if you have millionaire friends. Dana White has failed at everything he has done outside of the UFC. His whiskey tanked, his real estate investments tanked, Power Slap tanked, even his marriage is tanking. The only thing Dana White has done on his own is give himself hearing problems. How about his son, Dana White III? Or should I say, Dana White III. His son makes me sick. Being named Dana White III is like doing a group project and getting an A despite doing absolutely no work. This guy could be an astronaut and solve every world issue, but he will always be in the shadows of his father. Speaking of shadows, Dana's shadow is getting much slimmer. A doctor told him he only had 10 years to live. Dana made plenty of health changes and he is looking slimmer by the day. Dana is proof that money can buy you TRT to get healthy. Dana likes to gamble a lot. He is one of the best gamblers I have seen. He can win $75,000 in a night easily. Ironically, Dana makes more from gambling than UFC fighters get in a calendar year. Dana is a generous guy sometimes though. He's gifted the Nelt Boys more money than Francis Ngannou has made in his entire career. Dana is a big music fan. Dana is a big fan of the Beastie Boys. Funny enough, a Beastie Boy is what Dana looked like in his alleged sex tape. He looked like mashed potatoes flying into the Grand Canyon. Dana did go to court for this and he got off, but the girl herself did not get off. When Dana White was in Boston, Whitey Bulger allegedly told him that you have to pay us money. Dana did not pay Whitey and eventually left town to go to Vegas. This was foreshadowing Dana's future career because he certainly has not paid a lot of white guys what he owes them. Fun fact about Dana, when he purchased the UFC.com domain was taken by a company named User Friendly Computers. Surprisingly, User Friendly Computers is more user-friendly to buy than a UFC pay-per-view on ESPN. Dana White looks like he is physical unable to wipe his arse. I think the UFC ring girls wipe Dana's butt for him. How about Tito Ortiz? The guy looks like Mr. Potato Head. He has a large head, with no brains inside his head. We give Tito such a hard time, but if we are being honest, Dana looks exactly like Tito. Dana looks like the Michelin Man if he was put in the oven for too long. Dana White is so cheap, he won't even go buy sunscreen. All that money, and you would rather just look like Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob. Dana does look like Larry the Lobster. They are both very buff. Speaking of buff, plenty of people illegally stream the UFC events using buff streams. Dana keeps saying that the illegal streamers are stealing from him. The UFC fans are too cheap to pay for his overvalued pay-per-views, just how he is too cheap to pay fighters what they are worth. Somehow Dana makes the streamers out to be the bad guys. He keeps saying they cry when they get caught. Similar to how Dana cried when his wife caught him cheating for the first time. And then the second time. And then the third time. And then the fourth time. You get the point. Dana White is not a good person. Robin Hood used to steal from the rich and give to the poor. Dana steals from the poor to keep himself rich. I could use Dana's bald head to scrub the turd in my toilet bowl. Just put some bristles on the top of Dana White's head and he could clean your entire house. You won't have to even get a maid. I should be careful about saying this, however. Dana might just go ahead and fire his maid because I just told him this hack to save money. Who could forget when the actual pay-per-view broadcast went down? None of the illegal streams went down, so thousands of UFC fans who bought the stream had to finish watching the event illegally. Hey Dana, maybe make your streams more user-friendly than the illegal streams and people would stop. Isn't he awesome, says Dana White about Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor will fight anyone, anywhere, at any weight division. The Irishman is always ready for a scrap. Dana and Conor both go into battle. They go to battle in the bedrooms of ladies of the night. They both have wives who enjoy the gold-digging lifestyle. Conor and Dana were both smart to marry women who have no respect for themselves. Dana White's mother, June, released the book Dana White, King of MMA, an unauthorized biography. June claimed in the book that, since his success with the UFC, Dana had turned his back on his family and friends who were there for him when he needed help and support. Imagine that, all of those millions and millions of dollars, and you can't even buy the support of your own mother. Money does change people for sure. Dana used to have hair and terrible style, and now he just looks like a sun-dried tomato. Dana went to high school at Bishop Gorman. He should have went to Bishop Mormon, because Dana has plenty of wives to go around. I know Dana likes to ruin other people's lives, whether they be his own families or fighters. Hopefully he doesn't ruin my life for putting him on blast like this. But if he does, it wouldn't be the first time. But everything I said can be found on the internet. Not a word of a lie was said in this roast. Dana White is so egotistical that he calls everyone a dummy, so for the last part of this roast, I am going to call Dana a dummy. Hey dummy Dana, the illegal streamers stole your show, like how you stole the fighters' sponsors. Hey dummy Dana, you said Pride and Strikeforce were gonna stay, but you shut it down. Hey dummy Dana, you said women will never fight in the UFC, but they did. Hey dummy Dana, your mom doesn't even respect you. Hey dummy Dana, you would be nothing without your rich friends.